Okay, good afternoon, students. Today we are going to continue the topic for the circulation, that is blood vessels. Okay, so as we know that blood is viscous connective tissue fluid, correct? अगर वो viscous tissue connective fluid है तो वो हमारे बॉडी में फ्लो होने वाला है. बट ब्लड को फ्लो होने के लिए उसके प्रेशर के अनुसार आपके ब्लड वेसल्स होना बहुत जरूरी है, राइट? सो ब्लड वेसल्स आर द वेसल्स थ्रू विच द ब्लड फ्लो विद अ unit pressure, right? Okay, now blood vessels are of three different types: arteries, veins, capillaries. Okay, arteries, veins and capillaries, these are the three different types of the blood vessels. सबसे पहले देखते हैं हम लोग arteries. Arteries are usually thick walled and these are the blood vessels which generally carries the blood from heart to the different parts of the body. Okay, तो आर्टरीज का ये फंक्शन है कि जितना भी आपका ऑक्सीजनेटेड, करेक्ट, जितना भी आपका ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड है वो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड को आपके हार्ट से डिफरेंट ऑर्गन को पहुंचाने का काम आपका आर्टरीज करता है, राइट? Okay, but there is one exceptional artery which is called pulmonary artery which carries deoxygenated blood. Okay, all arteries carry oxygenated blood, but pulmonary artery is the exceptional artery which generally carries the deoxygenated blood. Okay, now when you talk about the artery, histologically, that is TS of artery, histologically the artery is generally made up of three layers: tunica externa, tunica media and tunica interna. Tunica externa is the outermost thick layer, tough layer. Okay, tunica externa, it is the outermost thick and it is the most toughest layer. Now when you talk about diagrammatic representation, this is your artery, TS of artery. This is tunica externa, tunica media and tunica interna. The outermost thick tough layer is generally called tunica externa, right? Middle layer is generally called, this middle layer is called tunica media, which is generally made up of smooth muscles and also it is made up of smooth muscle and some fibers, elastin fiber. This tunica externa is generally made up of collagen fibers. Next is the innermost layer. That innermost layer is called tunica interna. Tunica interna is generally made up of flat endothelial cells. Okay, now you can see the center is the lumen. It's a cavity, the lumen through which the blood flows, right? And they generally show, whatever this lumen is there, they generally show some angular sections which are generally called as tessellations. Okay, they are generally lined by the cells. Now when you talk about this artery, artery generally carries only pure blood, but the exceptional artery is the pulmonary artery which generally carries deoxygenated blood. Okay, next देखते हैं vein के बारे में. Vein is thin walled, okay, and the blood vessel which generally carries deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body to the heart are generally called vein. तो vein आपका deoxygenated blood carry करता है, पर यहाँ पे भी आपका एक exceptional vein है. That exceptional vein is called pulmonary vein which carries the oxygenated blood. Okay, now when you talk about the vein, there is a specialized portal vein, right? Example, hepatic portal vein, which is different from any other kind of a vein. Now example, liver, you know very well, hepatic means liver, so hepatic portal vein is connected to the liver. Now when you talk about the vein histological structure says that it is also divided into three different parts, right? Layers, I mean to say. Tunica externa, the outermost layer; tunica media, the middle layer; and innermost is called as tunica interna. Now only differentiation between the artery and vein is that the lumen of the vein is wider and it is longer. It is majorly wider and longer than the lumen of the artery. इसका जो lumen है वो आपका काफी wider है as compared to the lumen of the artery. That's what all about your TS of vein. Next comes your capillary. अब ये capillary क्या है? Capillary is a correct no, capillary is a network which is generally formed by the few minute blood vessel. इसका मतलब आर्टरी और वेन्स जब आपके एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़ जाते हैं या जहां पे उनका नेटवर्क बनता है, they generally lead to the formation of your capillary. Right now this capillary is usually thin walled and it is generally covered by flat squamous epithelial cell. which lie on to the basement membrane. मतलब यहाँ पे आपके flat squamous epithelial cell रहते हैं and they lie down on the basement membrane. That's what all about your capillary. ओके और ये जो कैपिलरी रहता है इसका मेजर आपका फंक्शन है, इट हेल्प्स इन द एक्सचेंज ऑफ द मटेरियल, राइट. समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपन, ये जो आपका वॉल ऑफ द कैपिलरी है इसमें आपके छोटे छोटे ऐसे पोर्स रहते हैं. दिस पोर्स आर जनरली कॉल्ड एज एंडोथेलियल पोर और फेनिस्ट्रे विच प्लेज एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन स्क्वीजिंग ऑफ द ब्लड सेल, राइट. कभी कभी क्या होता है, एग्जाम्पल WBC आपका ब्लड कैपिलरी से स्क्वीज आउट हो जाता है ड्यू टू द अमीबॉइड मूवमेंट दैट इज डाइपेडेसिस, राइट. इसके लिए आपके एंडोथेलियल पोर्स या फेनिस्ट्रे प्रेजेंट रहते हैं ऑन द वॉल ऑफ द कैपिलरीज. दैट्स व्हाट ऑल अबाउट योर कैपिलरीज. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट पल्स, राइट. ये पल्स क्या होता है? Pulse is a type of a pressure wave which is generally produced on the wall of the arteries due to the ventricular contraction. जब भी आपके ventricles contraction में जाते हैं तो उन contraction के वजह से, right, there is a pressure wave which has been developed in the artery and that is generally called as the pulse. Okay, now if we want to measure the pulse, the best superficial artery is the radial artery which is generally present in the wrist and the carotid artery which is present in the neck, right. carotid artery आपके neck में present रहती है और radial artery आपके wrist में present रहती है. Whenever you go to a hospital for a normal checkup, if you have a common cold or any kind of a body pain or fever, the doctor first generally checks your रेडियल आर्टरी. यहां पे देखकर उनको पता चलता है wrist में रेडियल आर्टरी प्रेजेंट रहता है. दे कम टू नो द पल्स, राइट. ओके, द पल्स इज स्ट्रॉन्गर. द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट पल्स इज जनरली फाउंड इन द आर्टरी विच इज क्लोजर टू द हार्ट and it is found weaker to the artery which is away from the heart. मतलब हार्ट के आजू बाजू में जो आपके आर्टरीज है वहां पे सबसे ज्यादा पल्स रहता है और जो कम रहता है वो हार्ट के मतलब अवे जो आपके आर्टरीज रहता है वहां पे आपका पल्स कम रहता है. ओके, नाउ you know very well about the radial artery present in the wrist and carotid artery present in the neck. Okay, now pulse is generally related. Pulse rate is generally related to the heart rate, that is 72 beats per minute. पर कभी कभी क्या होता है, if there is more pulse rate than the normal rate, that is 100 beats per minute, then that condition is called tachycardia. And if it is less than 60 beats per minute, then it is called bradycardia. That's what all about your blood vessels. Blood vessels are of three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. And also we have studied what exactly is the pulse. Clear? Thank you.